And his guests, Frank Dell'Estrito, maybe Johnny Byers.
And co-host.
Lisa Kavanaugh, co-host. And our guest, Frank Imbergamo.
How are you, Joe?
Hello, Frank. I'm wearing Frank's
Nice
glasses.
to meet you,
Nice to
Frank.
meet- nice to meet
Welcome
you.
to the show.
These are Frankie's
meeting you.
glasses.
Thrilled to have you.
It's a pleasure being here. It's a lot of fun.
So, everyone, welcome Winchester, and that was our disclaimer. Lisa, Frank just shot with Denzel Washington up north a bit.
Yes.
Yes,
what week?
I've heard.
Yeah,
How
the-
long ago was this?
About 2 weeks ago, I shot a film called The Equalizer with Denzel Washington, and it was in a Home Depot type atmosphere. I played a homeowner, buying things for the house, things like that.
Yeah.
That was a couple of days shoot there. It was good, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, Denzel just did Flight.
Yeah.
I interviewed Robert Zemeckis,
Okay.
the director
Oh.
of Flight.
Right.
He
that
was,
was fun.
nominated for an Academy Award for that.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
And you know, he used Jimmy Miller in the soundtrack. He has 3 Jimmy Miller songs in the soundtrack, Traffic
Yeah.
and Two Stones.
Yes.
So that's our friend Jimmy is how we met.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yes.
In
Jimmy
86.
Miller from the Rolling Stones is how, the producer of the Rolling Stones is how we met in 1986. Isn't that strange?
It's almost 30 years
A
ago.
long time ago. That's all right.
We've only had 4 or 5 knockdown dragouts but it was in a boxing ring.
Yes.
And it was for a TV show.
Yes.
That's all right. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, in that many years. I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Lisa did filming in LA. Do you do mostly Boston? Or
I do mostly New England. In New York City, I was on the Food Network with Emerald. I won a cooking contest. So,
Oh, I heard that.
so
That's
I,
awesome.
So I did that in 2005, and I wrote a cookbook, and one of my recipes was selected from Emerald.
So for our viewers,
Great.
Frank wrote a cookbook, but they have him do cooking on camera on film.
Exactly.
And
That's great.
you know, Jeremy
Do you have the
Renner.
book with you?
Yeah, I cooked with Emerald. Yeah, they
Jeremy
came to-
Renner is awesome.
Jerry Renner is a great guy. I just did a movie with him. 2 months ago, we did a movie called American Hustle. It's a David O. Russell film.
Oh, it's not out yet.
No, we just
Oh, wow.
filmed it, and when Jerry Renner's in it, and
Oh, wow.
I played a waiter, and I served them all the stars the food. Jeremy Renner, Christian Bale, Jennifer Lawrence. They were in an Italian
All my
restaurant.
favors.
Yeah, and I served them the
Yes.
chicken piccata. And I
I'm
say, "Hey,
jealous.
Manja,
I
eat."
never get jealous.
Yeah,
I'm
mine
jealous,
to
Frank.
eat.
It was a lot of fun.
That must have been. Now,
was
what
nice.
was
It
your
was-
recipe?
It was a small speaking role. No, it was their recipe. It was part of the movie, but that was part of the script.
Yeah.
It was a small speaking role. It was good. It was a lot of fun. We did that out in the Worcester, in an Italian restaurant. It was supposed to be New Jersey, because Jeremy Renner plays the mayor of New Jersey in this film.
The what? The mayor of New Jersey?
Yes, he plays the mayor of New Jersey.
But he comes up to Worcester.
His name is Carmen. So it's a good movie. There's all good. Bradley Cooper's in it. Amy Adams.
Oh my God.
Oh, that would be great.
It's a really going to be a great,
American
great movie.
Hustler.
Well,
Yeah.
last
No
week,
relation to American Gangster.
No.
No. Last week I was saying how I had taken a long break, and it's nice to know that coming back in, there really is a big change from 8 years ago.
Yes,
From
much
what
change.
you're saying, there seems
Yes.
like there's a lot more work, so I'm very excited
Yeah.
about going back into the industry.
Yeah, that's
Well, I think the film office has changed,
yeah,
right? The Boston
exactly.
film office?
Yeah,
Yes,
they're-
a lot.
Yeah, well, they're opening up a studio, a Hollywood studio in Ayer, Massachusetts, Fort Devens.
I thought Bedford.
We interviewed
no?
him. Jeff brought him in.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice man.
And so,
New England Film Studios.
yeah, so that'll bring in a lot more movies as well. So we're having 3 more movies come the next 3 months. We're having Cameron Diaz, John Travolta, and there's a couple of other actors. I think De Niro wants to do a movie here. So
Cameron Diaz, wasn't she in Her Shoes?
yes, she
Something about Mary,
something about Mary and
which was shot in Boston and
Night,
Rhode
Night,
Island.
Night and Day with Tom Cruise 2 years ago. I was in
Charlie's
that. I played a
Angels.
small part in that myself.
We had the author Jennifer Weiner on
Yeah.
in Medford. And 3 years after we had her on in October 2002, In Her Shoes came out with Cameron Diaz, the movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah,
It was a great movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
she's-
interesting to have the authors in and then the movie develops
yeah,
after.
it was a good movie.
She did, and I mean, seriously, she should have been nominated. This great film with Anne Paquin, where her daughter, I can't remember the name of it, her daughter's dying of cancer. My Sister's Keeper.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, right.
And I thought she was brilliant in it, and she didn't even so much as get a,
She played another movie in Boston called The Box, right?
the box.
Yeah, that was down in.
I just think she's such a fine
no,
actress.
she did.
I
Night-
do
she
too.
She did Night and Day. You know about that one, right?
Yeah, with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, with Tom Cruise, and that was a good movie.
You know, the mistake people make when they see a blonde, they don't think they can act. Cameron's a great example of a blonde that can
Yeah,
act.
she's a good actress.
Yes.
Can
And
you
I'm a
act?
I didn't get in the actor's studio because I can't act. They don't let you in there, especially when I went, if you can't act. It just
can
doesn't happen.
They're doing a good job.
FrankImbergamo.com is his .com if you want to see his resume on web. Frank, IMBERGAMO.
That's correct.
.com.
Yes.
And the cookbook and stuff people can
Yeah,
read.
everything is on. On my website, you can find the cooking, the video cooking. I have some video.
Oh, so you show videos of how you cook.
Yeah, I do. What I do is like once every couple of months, I do a cooking video, and then I write a column for the Medford Transcript. I have a column called Cooking with Frankie, and then I write a story about that recipe that was filmed. And they film me
Oh.
live in my kitchen, and I tell a story about that recipe.
Now, is that in the
That's
print edition or
great.
online?
That's great.
It's online. It's wickedlocalmedford.com or the medfordtranscript.com. And you can just key in Cooking with Frankie or Frank Imbergamo.
So what kind of things do you cook?
Well, my cookbook's an Italian cookbook, and mostly
Well, I mean,
Italian-American.
What lasagna,
Lasagna,
meatballs,
chicken parm, meatballs,
piccata.
homemade soups, piccata, masala, all that, yeah. I make it all.
Now,
Maybe you'll cook for us one show. Wouldn't that be
Pizzas.
great?
you know we have an in-house cook. You know Sean, the guy that's helping us
Yeah,
out?
I just found that out earlier.
Sean O'Brien's a cook.
Yeah, Jeff
Yeah.
told me, yeah.
So when we had our little party out here, he did the barbecue. It was amazing. So Sean O'Brien, you guys can compare notes after the show.
Yeah, right. It'll be nice. Yeah. And I wanted to tell you, I'm in an independent film. It's a big independent film that's in post-production right now. It's called DJ Stand the Man. I play a photographer, and it's written by Matthew Fisher, and he wrote it and directed it. And Chase Carson plays the DJ.
So where's Matthew? Out of Boston?
He's out of Hanover, Mass.
You can bring him on the show some week.
Yeah.
You know, when the movie's ready to come out, we have all sorts of directors on.
And then my webisode series, Pizza Makers. You know about that, right?
No.
Well, Pizza Makers is a webisode series that we've done. We've done 6 episodes, and it's written, directed, and he also acts as Chris Palermo. He did a fantastic job on these episodes. We're filming episode 7 next month, and we've been in a lot of magazines and a lot of media. We were in the inside track of the Herald a month ago. A big story about pizza makers, and it's getting very popular. And we might be going to Comedy Central.
That'd be awesome.
We're doing so. You can go to if you just key in pizzamakers.com. It's PIZZER makers, all one word. Pizza Makers, and it's based on these 2 guys. It's called Frank and Lou's Pizza Palace.
Frank and
Lou. It's Pizza Palace, and it's based on Chris Palermo's family business when he was a kid growing up in the pizza business. And what happens, different scenarios happen in the pizza place. We fight with the customers, we fight with each other. It's comedy, and it's really, really nice. It
sounds a sitcom?
Yes, it's a sitcom.
Sounds like a great
And you go to
sitcom.
youtube.com/Pizza Makers, all one word, and you can see all the episodes.
PIZZER.
E-R.
Pizzer.
Pizzer, yeah.
Pizzer makers. I'm going to ask Lisa to ask you some questions about Ted and some of the other movies. But I have a question about the internet. You know, we have these public access stations, and what the rumor is at board meetings now is that the internet is going to take over television. So like Comcast, Verizon, RCN, the whole thing will be broadcast from the web. Do you think that it's
Exactly.
going there?
I think so, yeah.
I hope so.
I think it is. I think social media is more in the internet now than more than magazines and newspapers. Is
All right, so
starting to
let's say
slow down.
Pizza Maker gets picked up by Netflix.
Right.
Sake of
Yeah,
argument.
pause, yeah.
And then you're going to have a corner on your TV where there's going to be comments.
I would believe so, yeah. Instead of going to get Netflix and go renting it, you can just probably get it on TV.
No, but what I'm saying is comments
yeah.
to your show, live comments people could watch.
Yes.
Because, you know, Ariana
As
Huffington.
it's going, they're
Yeah, I
coming
think
up.
I think
That'd
you're right,
be
yeah,
great,
yeah.
Yes.
Ariana Huffington's genius was that
Yes.
she made the Huffington Post very comment friendly,
Yeah.
where they have 350 million commenters.
Wow.
I'm a super user on the Huffington Post.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
But that's how she sold the thing for 300 mil.
Good
Yeah,
for
but in the
her.
future, I think you're right. I think it's going to go that way, yeah.
So, you know, if they did this with the Huffington Post on the web and they want eyeballs, they'll have people commenting on your shows, which I don't know if it takes away from the show. I want to watch Lisa act.
Yeah, I see.
I want to watch you act.
No, I know, yeah, right.
And if they're watching themselves type,
Yeah, exactly.
They're
How they're
interactive.
watching the show, and
I know what
that's
you're
the
saying.
only thing I see is a downfall to all of that. Is how can they watch the show and type at the same
Yeah,
time?
well, they have the internet hooked up to their big screen TV.
I have a big screen
And then
computer,
And then
so.
you just, everything's be on the remote, you know?
So then they can put themselves in your movie,
Yeah.
but there will be shows that will have to be non-interactive because you want
Oh,
to have people
absolutely.
focus.
You still want to relax and watch a movie,
Thank
put a
you.
DVD in.
Oh,
and I
of
think,
course,
I
watch
still,
a show,
I still think
laugh.
that's very important and it's more enjoyable too. I mean, sitting at a computer and watching it's uncomfortable, but you can sit in your couch or your chair and watch a nice movie, which is, I think, is better.
What the public viewing us don't realize is these lights are, when I walk out of here, I'm fuzzy. If I
Yeah.
do 2 or 3 shows in a row, no.
They're very bright. They're
If I
very
do 3
bright. A lot of
hours,
people
forget
don't
it.
realize
Yeah.
these are very, very, very bright lights.
So I want to go
Process.
home and just watch Lisa on TV.
Right.
Law and Order
Oh, right,
SVU.
I don't-
Yes.
That's a great idea. I think I'll do the same.
Can I say that you did Candid Camera? Is that all right?
Yes, because what a lot of people don't know is in Hollywood, in fact, I brought all my tapes. So one day we'll have to take a look at quite a few of them.
We can.
I did Divorce Course before it was a reality show. I was a guest star.
That's
I did The
fantastic.
Bold and the Beautiful. I did 2 leads in films. I did, and this is in LA. And this is where the toughest of the
Yeah,
toughest
right,
only,
right.
you know, do well. I did Taco Bell commercials, Nexus hair commercials, and Candid Camera, when they can't find actors, when they can't find people to like set up,
Right.
they'll actually hire actors to go in and be funny.
Oh, wow.
And if you ever see my episode of Candid Camera, it was shown on planes for, I don't, you saw it.
The poolside thing?
Yeah, no. Yes, with the suntan lotion.
Yeah,
That's
I
fantastic.
remember.
Look at that.
It's
That's
really,
great.
really funny.
I'd
And
like
it
to
was
see it
on
sometime,
planes
yeah.
forever. And
That's nice.
and they actually, I was not like, it wasn't like I was being surprised. It was, I really shouldn't, it's a trade secret, I'm giving it away. But they actually hire actors to
That's
do
good.
it.
That's good.
Now you're both part of SAG.
Yes.
Yes, and they've merged,
Yeah.
and it
Merged
seems
with-
simpler. What do you think?
Well, it's called SAG-AFTRA now. Before it was-
AFTRA and, okay.
It's called SAG-AFTRA, all one word. And it used to be AFTRA, and then it used to be SAG. Now it's SAG-AFTRA.
See, AFTRA was American Federation of Radio and Television Artists, and what it covered was basically was people, as you'll tell you,
Mostly media.
people on the radio, people on soap operas,
People on the
people that
news.
worked on sets, people on news.
News people, yeah.
Anybody in SAG was if you were on a location.
Right.
Whether it was a TV show or a film, that was Screen Actors Guild.
SVU.
And then now SVU, Divorce Court, I did not necessarily the news. Actually, not necessarily the news, but on a set that was AFTRA.
That's how I got SAG. I was in AFTRA first, and then they merged because I did TV, and so I didn't have to join 2 unions. I just slid right in from AFTRA right into SAG.
Oh, I had the catch-22.
Yeah,
They had
so
to pay a big fine to get me into SAG.
There was a few people like that. Yeah.
Well, back in the day, you couldn't get into SAG unless you had a speaking part, but you couldn't get a speaking part unless you were in SAG.
Right.
So you had to literally have a director pay a fine. And I'm talking in the 80s. Sometimes it was $1,000, $2,000,
Yeah.
and not necessarily the news needed somebody who looked 17, and I was
Right.
18 at the time. And they needed somebody that looked really young, and that's how I got it. And they paid the fine,
Right.
and that's how I got in the union.
Yeah.
But I mean, today's much easier.
Well, today you have to get 3 waivers. But
That's-
they
I
don't-
think that's not fair
You have to get
myself.
3 waivers.
And what's a waiver?
A waiver is a voucher.
For extra work, and I think
See,
that's
in a
wrong.
movie set, on a movie set, they have to have so much percentage.
Excuse me?
Too much static on the
On static on what?
The lav mics.
Channel 7? Number 7?
It's just you dropped the lav mic.
I just did.
That's Jeff Dearman, the dancing usher, our director. I let him come in
I just
because we
dropped-
have a very laid-back show. I like it that way. So is the static okay, Jeff? Thumbs up? All right.
We good on static?
Yep. So Lisa and I were in L.A. and we were cavorting there with Jojo Lane and Jimmy Miller, the Stones producer, and this was way back in '86.
That's fantastic.
We were at the
I was
Chateau Marmont.
blessed. Oh, God,
that's
yeah.
great.
It was fun.
To go back on a time machine, we had so much fun those 10 days.
Oh, my God, it was completely insane. They were
That was
insane. We
beautiful.
were insane.
I had my own suite where I had like papers everywhere because we had record company meetings. So we had the music buddy guy we were working with,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
a British band called the Manish Boys that Jojo was managing. So Jimmy and I were doing our shopping, but you'd have, what's the plane boss, what's his name there?
Oh, Tattoo. Fantasy Island.
Yeah,
Yeah, he died too, the other guy.
yeah, he
Did
did.
he really?
Yeah,
Yep.
and what's his name? Karl Motterbaum, he died.
Oh, What
Oh,
an
well,
actor.
I figured by now he would have.
Yeah.
What an actor.
Yeah, he was a good actor.
Okay, here's a trivia question for you.
Ricardo
It's not really
Montalban,
trivia either.
I have a few great trivia questions.
And you will do
Let's
them
see
in
if I
like
can
3
get
minutes.
you.
Star Trek, when they did the Wrath of Khan, bringing back.
I just did it again. Lisa's having a blonde day today here.
Lisa's
How's
had a
this?
blonde day every day I've known her, and that's been 30 years. They did the
Come
Star
on,
Trek
don't
Wrath
give
of
away
Khan
my
with Ricardo
secrets.
Montalban.
Yeah.
Why didn't they go back and do sequels to all the great Star Trek shows? It would have been so,
I know.
because they did so many bomb movies. They did some great ones.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The Whales one was great, but had they gone back to the City on the Edge of Forever, the Tribbles, all the award-winning shows
Yeah,
they
right.
did, sequels.
Would have been nice.
I think it would have been brilliant. I think it really would have. I really think they would, if they got the right director, the right producers, the right cast, they could have really pulled it off.
Logical. It was
It
just
would
We
have
have one
been
of our own
something.
Boston guys, too, Leonard
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 Nimoy. Yes.
West End guy, Boston, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was Quincy.
No, he grew up in the West End.
Yeah, he grew up in the
Boston.
West End, which
Yeah.
is actually.
I did the Mass General, like, in that
Yeah,
area.
which
Yeah.
is kind of was considered part of the North End. Pretty
Well,
much
it
at
used to
one
be,
time.
they're not there in West End, we used to run into each other. And then they knocked down the West End, and they made like those
Mass Generals
Charles River
and-
Plaza and other high-rise.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty much got rid of
They got
everything.
rid of everything, and they just have Beacon Hill, which was part of it, but that's on the other side, though.
Beacon Hill's too historic to decimate.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it can't.
That got knocked down. I was a kid. I remember when they knocked it down. I mean, that happened in the late 50s. You know,
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah.
I was a young kid, but
Trivia.
Trivia. Okay, this is for you, Frankie.
okay.
Okay, because I was, for my own curiosity, I kind of knew the answer to this just because at the studio we were made to memorize this.
Okay.
What year was the first Academy Awards and what years did they celebrate?
The first year of the Academy Awards,
Mm-hmm.
that had to be in at least the 40s.
1929.
Was it really?
You want to hear something
Wow.
really, really
I
interesting?
didn't realize that.
That the first Academy Awards, and I actually worked there, were at the Hotel Roosevelt.
Wow.
The tickets were $5 a piece. There were 270 people. And at that time, they were actually celebrating films from 1927 and 1928.
Wow.
So Alice Jamings got the Best Actor for two different films. The lead actress, Jane Gaynor, got Best Actress for two films.
Wow.
And Charlie Chaplin was supposed to win for every category, and they decided to give him an honorary award instead.
Oh, were those mostly silent films, right, in the 20s?
Camera one, Jeff.
1929, I believe.
silent films?
Yeah, I believe mostly
Yeah,
were
'cause
so. Yes,
'cause I said
absolutely.
40s,
Yes,
but
Douglas
I didn't-
Fairbanks hosted it.
Yeah,
So
wow.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, God, amazing.
So I thought you
But-
meant the 40s would have been regular movies.
Okay, so but I'm going to
Black and
quiz
white.
you on this year too.
Okay.
Okay, what was the most unusual thing about the Academy Awards this year and how that they voted and who they honored? What was the most unusual thing that is usually never done? Who did they snub?
Who they snubbed this year?
Absolutely snubbed them. Snubbed them last year too, and the year before, I believe.
Well, there was a few people that deserved to get an awards and they didn't get them.
Well, no,
No,
who
there
won
was-
Best Picture?
Well, Ben Affleck, I thought, should have got more than what he got.
He wasn't even nominated for Best Director, which is
I think
unheard of.
that's what I'm getting at.
That's what I was gonna. That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say to
The
you. That's what
director,
I
he
was.
should've won Best
That's what I was
Director.
getting for, because it's unheard of.
Right.
For a film to win Best Picture without
Yeah.
winning Best Director,
I think
and
he-
he wasn't even nominated
Yeah,
for
that-
Best Director, which is insane.
I mean, I seen the movie Argo. He did a great job in that, and he should have won Best Director, definitely.
Alan Arkin also won Best Supporting, and they also won in one other category. It was like in, let me just see. They won in one other
I
category.
was surprised
film
at that.
editing.
Yeah.
Film editing, yeah. And
They
Daniel
gave-
Day-Lewis won for Lincoln,
Right.
which he was brilliant.
He was
in.
brilliant.
Anne
He did a good
Hathaway,
job.
Best Supporting Les
did
Miserables,
very
and she
well.
deserved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely deserved
See,
it.
by being a SAG member, they mail us all those DVDs.
Yes, I know. I love
So,
that.
which
I
is
love
good.
it every
So
year. You get
that's
to
why
watch all
get
the
to watch
movies for
And then
free.
then we vote at the same time.
Yes.
You have to send your
for the
ballot
Screen
in.
Actors Guild Awards.
Yeah, you send
Yeah,
your
it's a lot
ballot
of
in.
fun.
It's good. You get free.
I like
you
it.
know.
It's fun, and we get to watch the movies for
That's
nothing.
a nice thing they do for the members, you know.
That is a nice thing they
very
do for the
nice, yeah.
members. It really is.
So that was very nice. I watched all the movies and voted and all that. which
Yeah,
was
I think
good,
that
you
is
know.
nice. That's very
But
nice.
I thought Lincoln deserved to win the. I mean, I think he did a very
Oh,
good
Daniel
job.
Day-Lewis?
Yeah, he did a very
Yeah,
good
that
job.
was brilliant. He was
It was a
just
great movie.
He was brilliant. He was
I
just
think Tommy
absolute-
Lee Jones did a very good job with that.
Oh, God,
He
yeah.
did a great job.
I've always been a big fan, ever since Norma Ray, of Tommy Lee Jones.
And Jennifer Lawrence won the Oscar.
Of course, yes.
Yep, she did a good job.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah, that was
But
a
I
good
really liked.
Lisa, take my lab. We're going to switch mics.
Okay.
I'm off camera right now. It's only you two, so
Oh, okay.
I can do that.
Okay, we're switching mics here. Which camera? We're switching mics now. So let me ask you 2 other questions.
Sure.
I mean, it's really encouraging to me to see that you're getting work in Boston as an actor, an LA actor who did work here on and off up until 2005, took a long break, going back into it. Do people still send in pictures and resumes?
Yeah, well, everything.
And I'm asking this too for anybody else who's
Well,
watching.
yes. What they're doing now is, 90% of the casting agencies, they don't want hard copies no more. Everything is done online. You have to send your resume and headshot, and you just email it into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a website, but I'm working on it.
It's always good to check
finishing
with
it.
them first, though, because sometimes they may want a hard copy.
Yes.
So, when I first started in this business, they used to send the hard copies out like every 2 months. Just to
Oh, no,
keep
when
it
I
updated,
started too, that's
you know?
why I'm asking
Right,
if
yes,
it's
it's
still
changed.
that
no,
way.
It's changed. No.
And where did you train as an actor? Did you train
Yeah,
Method, Meisner?
I went to Manchester, New Hampshire. It's called the New England Models Group. And every quarter, every 4 months, a director named Tom Logan, he's a Hollywood director.
I'm familiar
Yeah,
with the
and he
group.
does the classes there. So I attended his classes. And then from there, I did a model wire and what they do, all your resume, headshots. And,
Yeah.
and I've been very successful.
But,
I
and Tom Logan, what is his approach? Is it Stanislavski? Is it Meisner? Is it, well, Stanislavski is method. Does he do sense memory? Does he do emotional recall? Does he do improv?
Well, I tell you, he does a lot of improv.
Yeah, it does a
There's
lot of improv.
and he does a lot of commercials. How to make a commercial. He gets all the students together. He breaks them up in 3 or 4 people, and you read a script. You do a commercial. At the end of the seminar, they show it on a big screen.
Yeah.
And then they show you what you did wrong and what you did right, and how to correct
sure,
it.
and how to
But
critique
it's a
yourself.
very, very low key atmosphere. It's very relaxed. And it's not to get It's a lot of fun.
Well, you're going to do your best work when you're relaxed. That's one of the techniques of where I train at the
Right.
actor studio is relaxation. Because obviously you're going to do your best work
We'll
when
s-
you're
we'll
relaxed.
see what it was
Are
good-
you relaxed? I'm very relaxed.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
very.
show.
But what's good about NEMG is after you do that, they get you a lot of print work, commercial work.
Oh,
And when I've been very
sure.
successful, I did like 2 lottery commercials with them. I did a Vicks commercial, the Subway. I did a lot of stuff with them. And
who's this that you did
it's,
this
it's
with?
called the New England Models Group. They're in Manchester, New Hampshire.
New England's Models Group.
New England NEMG, yeah.
And was this union or non-union
At the time I did this, I was non-union.
Yes.
But then
and
I
how
be-
did you get in the union? Because we were starting to talk about that earlier.
Well, I got into union. I was an AFTRA member already, and then they were merging.
Oh, okay.
I was SAG eligible at the time anyway,
Yes.
but I was still
But
in
now
AFTRA.
you didn't have to pay the money.
No,
so they
I
just
didn't have to
merged.
pay the money. I just merged right. I slid right over.
That's
A
great.
lot of people had to pay. They were cut off if they didn't join. They had to pay. Like,
Yeah.
They get forced to. They get
So-
the letters that say you must join and all that.
Yeah. Or if
Right, right.
So let me ask you, Frankie, to the date.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite role and why?
My favorite role was, I like my indie film I just did because I'm one of the main characters.
You've got a lot of work.
It's a featured film, a 2-hour
Yeah.
movie, and I give a lot of dialogue.
So you really felt like you
Yes.
got to stretch your
Right.
wings and
Exactly.
perform.
Yeah, because a lot of the big movies, you get some small speaking parts. You're not one of the main characters because they concentrate on the main characters. Naturally.
Yeah, of course.
So then that's why they make the big bucks. And
course.
but it's a lot of fun. And the DJ Stand the Man will be out in January at the local theaters. And I play a photographer. I have a black eye in the movie because I get into a fight with the DJ. But that's all I can tell you about the movie.
Okay, we'll have to see it.
You'll have to
we'll
see
have
it.
to see it. We'll have to go see it.
But that was a lot of fun.
definitely.
And my other one I liked was R.I.P.D. that just came out. I played a 1970s police officer, and that was a lot of fun. We did that for a whole month. We
Oh,
we
yes,
filmed
with
for a whole-
Ryan Reynolds
Yeah, Ryan
and,
Reynolds and Jeff Bridges,
Jeff Bridges.
Kevin Bacon.
That looks
and
really
Ma-
good.
and Mary Louise Parker.
I haven't seen that yet.
There was
I
a
really
lot of
would like to see
yeah,
it.
it was a good movie. It was there's a lot of special effects in that movie. Wasn't aware. I was aware of some of it, but there's a lot of special effects, and it's the highest budgeted movie ever made in Massachusetts.
Wow.
They spent $280 million to make that movie.
Wow.
And
But
no-
how much do you think was in actual
Well, there's-
special effects? I'm sure.
Oh, they
a
spent
good
quite a bit,
portion.
quite a bit of money on that.
Wow.
But we talked to the directors while we were working there, and we
Yeah.
were talking about this. And actually, Kevin Bacon got up and spoke when it was wrapped at the last day.
Yeah.
And he talked very nice about the city and about the actors in Boston.
Yeah.
He was very, very nice with us. I was impressed. He was a nice guy. You know?
So you are 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
You know about that 6 degrees to Kevin
6
Bacon?
degrees of separation.
No, the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, right.
No, I don't know about that 6 degrees.
Well,
of Kevin
see,
Bacon.
because everyone knows someone who knows Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
Now
right.
you,
That's
and,
what I was talking about, the 6 degrees of separation.
Right.
That's what they call it.
but they do Kevin Bacon is the book.
Right.
There's a book on it, right? The 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, so like I now know someone who knows Kevin Bacon, so
You're only 1 degree.
right, but there's all these people that, and it's just kind of weird.
Yeah. And Jeff Bridges is a character. He's funny. He's walking around with that big gun like this. Hey, he's got that big gun walking around with the cowboy boots. And
So, Frankie, what is like your dream? Like, what do you?
Well, I'm doing-
what
I-
do you see yourself doing? Like, what are your goals? Like from a year from now, where do you see yourself going with all of this?
well, what I'm doing is I'm just taking it, one day at a time.
Yes.
Like,
Well,
the
with the
more-
pizza show, obviously.
Well, the
you're
pizza
hoping
makers,
that
yeah,
that
that's
is going
one
to
of
go
the,
somewhere.
I'm one of the main characters in that. That's
Uh-huh.
that's like a steady webisode series. It's a continuing series. So
That's
that's doing very
great.
well. The DJ Stand the Man indie film. We hope to get a big audience in that, and from there, we may do a sequel. So
That's great.
we're working on that, and like I've been doing this for about 9-10 years. So
Have you ever thought about maybe moving to New York and getting an agent and pursuing it more in that way?
well. I was gonna do that, but then the move after the last couple of years. This year was a good year.
Yeah.
But what happened was like in 2009, we only had like 1 or 2 movies. Then
Yes.
10, we got like 5, 6 movies. Then 11, 7. It's getting a little better.
Yeah.
But I want to go to New York and try to get on an HBO series. That's what I want to do.
Sure.
That's my goal, to go on Boardwalk Empire or one of those.
Oh God, yeah.
And I have to go down there one day and see one of the directors. So I'm working on that.
Good for you.
So we'll see what happens with
we
that.
wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm going to be watching for you.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
definitely go- And name your website again so people
Yeah,
can
it's
check it out.
Frank Imbergamo. It's
Why don't you
FRA
spell it for me?
www.FrankiMbergamo.com.
And what about the pizza maker?
The pizza makers, you can go to youtube.com/pizza makers. It's all one word, PIZZER makers, MAKERS.
And Frank lives in camera 2, camera 1, camera middle. I'm directing here from the box.
You're directing. That's great.
Frank is in the Medford transcript. If you look on the front page, your neighbor is like headlines today. D'Antonio
Great.
speaks.
Oh, that's right.
Because Anthony, our guest, Anthony D'Antonio, comes
Nice
on
guy.
visual
I like
radio.
him. He's a very nice guy. I wish him the best.
Yeah, and he got a lot of votes. They City Hall played it down, saying, "Oh, we got 60% of the vote." But for someone with no budget to get like
That's
close to
fantastic.
3,000 votes,
He's a very nice guy. I met him several times.
he should get 2,000 more this year. Now that's going to really give a 26-year incumbent
Mm-hmm.
a good battle. Let it be a good battle. May the best man win.
Good, yeah.
But let's get the issues out.
That's right. As long as he's helping the people, I'm for it.
Sure.
Yep.
That's
we
what
don't have enough politicians
that's what it's
that
there
are like
for.
that.
That's what their job is, to help the people. So.
Now let's talk about this. Medford will be primed to make movies. You've got the Brooks Estate.
That's right.
You've got the Chevalier Theater, where Lou Rawls, Frank Sinatra, John F. Kennedy, all.
I'm glad you mentioned Chevalier Theatre, 'cause I'm going to have our DJ Stand the Man movie there.
You're gonna have the movie there.
Yes, I already talked to
Warren?
and I'm going to get back to him a month before the movie comes out.
I've known Warren 35 years.
Yeah, I'm going to go down and give him a DVD, and you can look at it. And he said he'll, because I'm from Medford, he said he'll take care of it. So that'll be good, because it's a
That's
it's a
great.
good sized theater. Plus, I live in Medford, and you get people from the North Shore, Medford, Winchester, Stoneham. They can go to one area.
Now, if it's free, we can talk about it. If you do something with a nonprofit like Kitty Connection,
Right.
then we can talk about it on the air. We can
right,
of course talk about it, but
Yeah.
we can't mention specifics unless there's like a charity
okay,
involved.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But that, Kitty Connection over there.
Yes, yes.
They do great work.
Yeah, I see it. They have a column in the transcript. I see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's important to get the animals out. And Frank's from Medford. Lisa's from Boston now, but she was from LA, and I met her in LA.
Yes.
And Lisa's back on the show, and we're having fun here.
It's a nice show.
Back on the show and getting herself back into acting, getting my
for you.
website going, lisacavanaugh.com.
That's great.
Yes, that's LISCAVANAUGH.com. I can't even spell my own name tonight. I'm doing really well.
That'd be good.
Now, the Red Sox are off tonight, but let's have like 2 minutes with another Medford resident. How's that?
All right.
See how this
I love when
goes.
he calls people. Sometimes they can become quite comical.
It's our sports host, people. You know who it is. He's not expecting us to call tonight. Now, there's no Red Sox game on. He usually gives us the Red Sox up. Oh, there's a Patriots game on right now.
Patriots, yeah. They play
So
Detroit.
maybe he's watching.
They're playing
He's
they're
in the
playing
middle of
Detroit
watching,
tonight, yeah.
so he
He
missed
usually
it.
watches us on the computer
Oh, really?
because you can see us on the computer in Medford.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
Wincam-
wow.
Wincam.org.
What's the website? What is?
WINCAM.org, Winchester Camera.
Oh, winecam.com.
Well, it's actually camera, but that's kind of like a double entendre because it's community
Wincam.com.
access and
.org.
Can
media.
you only see it live, or can you see it like after the show's over?
We're going to put it up on YouTube, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday,
Okay,
depending
cool.
on my schedule. I've been
Yeah,
very
alright.
busy.
Okay.
We have a 60-second film festival here.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And
different.
what's interesting is TV3 Medford put a little money into it last year,
Yeah.
and the Medford winner was me.
Oh wow.
That's
That-
great.
it's-
I didn't know
congratulations.
that.
Wow.
When I say we, it's not my thing at all. It's one of the board members has it. And what it is I had Buzzy Linhart from California doing the soundtrack. So I know the Buzzy Linhart fans went mental on it.
Wow.
So, but it's a fun thing, 60 seconds, and I shot footage of birds from my movie. I'm doing a movie called The Saltwater Summers, which I've been doing for like 10 years. So I acquire footage, and I have a wonderful soundtrack with all these 60 stars. So some of the stars are asked to be in it.
Right.
Barbara Harris and the Toys, who
great.
played at the Chevalier, you're going to be in it.
Of course I'm going to be
great.
in it. My daughter's going to be in it.
But we lost Bobby Hebb and we lost JoJo Lane, and they were both central figures in the movie. So we'll have to get Heidi
I
here.
wish you the best on
of
that,
course,
Joe.
Heidi's
Heidi's
39 years old now. She's about my age.
Well, then she could play
Easily do it.
JoJo, yeah.
That's what I'm
Fantastic.
We'll let you know,
Wow.
we'll keep you in the loop on it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about it.
Because it's a movie that has a soundtrack first.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
but-
That's different, yeah.
But, because I had this soundtrack,
Great
and then...
way to sell something.
Yeah, it's something
I've never
different too. It's a little,
different.
yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, what was it, The Big Chill, right?
Yeah.
With all the Motown stuff. And the soundtrack went, Dirty Dancing. Jimmy Miller and I were at RCA Records with Wendy, I forget her last name, she was so nice. And she's telling us about the Dirty Dancing soundtrack, because it had just come out.
Right.
She goes, it flew out of our warehouses. We don't have any. We had no idea it was going to sell.
Yeah.
They were just caught like unawares that this thing would go through the roof, because girls liked it, guys liked
Right.
it. It was like a
Yes.
date movie.
That's great.
And the soundtrack with Hungry Eyes with Eric Carmen
Yep.
and Be My Baby, the Ronettes,
Yeah.
it went through the roof.
Fantastic.
But RCA was not even prepared for this movie to just like sell millions of discs.
Great.
Yeah, I remember that.
They just did something in New York City, a play, Motown play. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, it's a regular playbill, play. It's on,
Standing in the
it's,
Shadows of
uh,
Motown.
It's in the theater. It's right in New York City now. It'll probably come to Boston. maybe-
Is it about the Motown
Yeah,
singers?
It's about the Motown singers. Like
Oh, wow.
The Temptations, Diana Ross, all those.
Yeah. Well,
Four
the Dream
Tops.
Girls
Yeah.
is based on.
But I think this is a little better.
Goes even farther into
Yeah, I think
it.
this has got this more
Great.
detail. It's probably more professional singers. I don't know. It's really.
Do you sing?
No, I don't sing, but I do have a friend who's a singer, and he sings the American Songbook type songs.
I'm just saying, if they asked you to sing in a movie, then they'd have a stand-in, so you'd be singing and someone would be singing behind you,
Yeah.
or on the track.
Oh, I do voiceovers. I just did a voiceover demo for some commercials for, pizza place, a beer commercial, and about 7 of them on one track.
Yeah, no names,
No
but
name. Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Because we're on Access.
But
But,
my friend Bobby, he's a singer. He does all that stuff.
well, the reason I'm bringing it up is last night I was doing these transfers, and we had these.
You might know him. You know Bob DeChico?
No.
I think you might know him.
We were doing transfers last night of old music. from 40 years ago. Cy Coleman, Bobby Hebb. Rare stuff no one's heard in 40 years, so we
Wow.
were doing the transfers.
Wow.
My engineer pulled out this box. Now, this thing is unbelievable. It's an official Motown release. 4 CDs called Motown Official Karaoke.
Wow.
It is the actual Jackson 5 tracks without the
Unbelievable.
lead vocal, but it's got the brothers singing in the background. It's got the Supremes. It's got.
Wow.
I wonder if they're probably all doing that probably the player.
But the thing is, it isn't fake karaoke, which you can get on eBay all day long,
right,
right?
right.
And with just musicians going in and covering a song. This is the actual thing you heard on the radio, and listening to the backing tracks is just a dream.
It's unbelievable.
That's great.
I got to look it up now because
Yeah,
my
check it
friend
out.
had this, and it's like, this is.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like a lot of fun, yeah.
Now, do you sing it all?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Because
I have more that low kind of raspy voice.
now, is your friend Valerie an actress?
Valerie Van Halen, well, Kendall, ex Van Halen, who is moving in with me in 6 weeks. She's moving from Los Angeles. And she's one of my closest and dearest friends.
We're going to talk about Valerie in a second.
Okay, great.
Hello, John.
Hi, Joe. I'm sorry. I was indisposed at the time.
Don't say that on the air.
All right, well,
You were writing a blog, maybe. Hey, Frank Imbergamo's here from South Medford. He's the actor from the new Equalizer movie coming out, and he's in the movie Ted.
all right.
Say hello.
How are you, Frank?
Hey, how you doing?
Do you know Johnny Byers?
Johnny Byers. I think I've
sports
met you
host.
before, yeah.
How are you?
Not too bad. How you doing, John?
You're going to be playing they're making an Equalizer movie?
Yeah, from the TV show The Equalizer, only Denzel Washington's The Equalizer.
Oh,
Yeah, they've been filming
That'll
for
be
3
interesting.
months now.
and who do you play in the movie?
Oh, I just play. I was actually a homeowner. It was taking place in a Home Depot type store, and
okay.
I was buying a door. And,
Wow.
You know,
So you got a big part, but you're going to get seen in the movie.
A couple of lines, small part. You know, it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
You know.
Hey, Johnny, we want to know who's winning the Patriots game.
I can tell you in a quick moment. Let me just go to Channel 4 and I'll give you an update.
Now, John is the famous John from Medford on WEEI and on 98.5. He's the frequent caller, John
Oh,
from
yeah,
Medford.
that's him. I know. I
Okay,
listen to
yes,
him.
I know who 98.5, sure.
And he's our co-host.
He calls. He calls on the Saturday morning. He talks to what's his name, Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson, Johnny?
Called that show a couple of times. I called a baseball show on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, there's a commercial in the game, so that means I can't get you a score right away, but at some point I'll get a score.
And Aaron Hernandez was indicted today officially.
Yeah, officially.
Was he really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
And that's no surprise. I mean, it was going to happen. It was just a matter of
He
when.
knew, though,
That's
that
right,
he was getting
yeah.
affiliations. They were very
got
well,
more-
the
they-
Patriots
they-
were very aware of
every
it. They
week they-
pretend they didn't, they
Oh,
knew.
well, now they're coming up with more things. They're finding different.
Okay, the Patriots are losing 13-3 in the 2 minutes left in the first half.
Okay, we'll win this.
Yeah.
All right.
13-3. We just wanted to have you say hi to Frank, Johnny.
Yeah.
What about me?
Okay.
Oh, say hi to Lisa Kavanaugh.
How are you, Lisa?
I'm good. How are you, darling?
Pretty good. I was
you
wondering who
behaving
the pretty
yourself
lady
this
was next to
evening?
these two old men.
This is a young lady that JoJo Lane and Jimmy Miller introduced me to
Oh,
She's
okay.
very much like JoJo when she wants to be.
in '86.
Long time ago.
All right, so Johnny, we just wanted to say hi.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
All right, man, bye.
Bye.
Take care, John.
He's cool.
Yeah, I've heard him on the radio several
Yeah,
times.
and that- I mean, he's very popular.
Yeah, they all know him.
And, well, when he runs for mayor, and he just dropped out of the mayoral race, but they endorse him, both stations. So McGlynn must be like,
Yeah, he's got all these people. I know.
just...
We never had any competition. Now he's got some people running against him, you know?
Well, there's only Anthony. Johnny dropped out for family reasons. You know, the family asked him to drop out. And so this year he complied. 2 years ago, he just went at it, which was good because he got issues out that other people didn't.
Yeah.
You know, even if you know that McGlynn's got a machine,
Yeah.
McGlynn's very hard to beat.
Right.
But people run so that they can get the issues out.
Right.
And Johnny challenged the mayor to take
plus-
30 grand, and he'd take 30 grand instead of the 150 the mayor's getting. Now that's a great
Yeah,
challenge.
right. Plus, you get your name out there. You get recognition, you know, for future, you know, elections, different whatever jobs, you know.
I want Lisa to run for Congressman Markey's seat. I want Lisa for Congress.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there I go.
We should do it. We should just start right
I
now.
can start a platform.
Write in. Yeah, a write in. At least we'll give her a movie studio in every city. Forget public access.
Yes.
Public movies instead of public access.
That's all right,
Yes,
yeah. That'd be good. I'll
definitely.
vote for you. You got my vote.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to ask you both a question. As Comcast, Verizon, and RCN try to get away from public access, these stations will become community media. Can you imagine if we were the news crew for Winchester, Quincy, and Medford? We cluster 5 towns, and we're the news crew. Or we do the entertainment review, and Frank does the news.
That'd be nice.
Or you and Frank do the entertainment review, and I do the sports with John.
Well, I had even a better idea earlier
That'd be nice.
for a different take, is for Frankie to do maybe a 7 to 10 minute bit on one of his recipes.
That'd be good.
On a future show.
Sure, why
He
not?
could talk about whatever he's
Yeah.
working on
I'll take
on
my
a future
cookbook and-
show.
I'll take my cookbook, you can pick out some recipes.
Because we are
and-
thinking of
and-
going that way. We are looking at
We're
different
looking,
things.
Lisa and I are going to be
Back
doing
to
some...
Valerie. This
yeah.
is where we're going with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, Valerie Van
Um,
Halen.
Valerie was married to Alex Van Halen, and she was a rock and roll socialite.
Mm-hmm.
And we met each other and became best friends immediately,
That's
and have been
fantastic.
ever since. And she's on her way here, and she was in Ben Caught Stealing,
Oh,
the
wow.
Jane's Addiction, in the movie The Gift, directed by Casey Nicolai,
Yeah.
who was Perry Farrell's wife from Jane's Addiction, Porno for Pyros.
Wow.
She was in that movie. She was also in a couple of the Van Halen videos. So she was
fantastic.
also a model. So yes, she is a model actor.
Good for
She's
her.
great personality. She would be great on the show. So I'm really looking forward to her joining us.
And we
on the
have-
show.
That'd be nice, yeah.
I mean, she's just we'll have a blast. It'll be a lot of fun.
We have Jeff Dearman, and we have Jay LaFond up in Haverhill. So we have a crew of people that are familiar with the
Yes,
show.
Jeff's
That's
great.
great, yeah.
And so we might come up with a separate show from Visual Radio, because this is on every Thursday.
Right.
And it's our nice little forum, you know. Jodie Foster's been on, and Michael Moore,
Mm-hmm.
and different film directors, and David Koepp, you know, who did, he wrote Jurassic Park.
Yeah, right.
He's a great writer. So he did the Stir of Echoes. So I'm watching the Sci-Fi Channel. There's a sequel to Stir of Echoes with Rob Lowe. Now I got to check IMDb.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we interviewed David Koepp when he directed Stir of Echoes, which had Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Yeah,
And then there's a sequel to it. It went right by me. Rob Lowe.
that's odd.
It is, and it's a
I
kind of
think
an
it's
eerie.
odd.
He comes to
think
Boston a
it's-
lot, Rob Lowe.
Does he?
Yeah, you know where he goes? I don't know if I can mention. I mentioned the name of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching Jay Leno one night, and Rob Lowe was on, and Jay Leno asked him, "You're from New York. Who has the best pizza? Where's the best pizza place?"
Okay, maybe we shouldn't endorse
No,
someone.
we
Let's
can't.
see what he
Okay.
said about Boston.
Okay.
And there's a certain place he goes. He goes there quite a bit with his kids and wife. So,
So does he go in the North End, maybe?
yeah, not
Of course, it's the North End.
Okay.
So
That was a
I was
no-brainer.
kind of shocked. I was watching. They mentioned, Boston.
So we'll have to be filming our movie out in front of whatever pizza shop, and maybe accidentally
We'll kind
get
of give it a hint.
the
We'll hold
whole
up a
Rob
picture
Lowe
of
family.
Rob Lowe and
You
wink.
never know who you meet in the pizza place.
We'll hold it up and wink. And
Yeah, right.
Are you having fun on Visual Radio?
I'm having a ball. That's a blast. That's really, really nice. It was nice meeting Lisa and you. And I
We
met
have-
you a long time ago, but it's been a while.
See, our new ED, Dave Gauthier from Salem, I've known Dave like 10 years because I'm on 24 stations.
Yeah.
So we have that set, which looks like a big news desk. So last week we had the news desk up.
yeah, we had the news desk
Oh,
last
yeah.
week.
But
Yes.
because of town meeting tonight, we had to get the old standby, my desk.
I like this though. I think
I lose
nice.
30 pounds with this desk. It's wonderful.
It's nice. It's beautiful. It's a great show. You have a good setup, a great show. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, what we're going to do in about 3 minutes is we're going to talk to Frank Delastrito, the author of, he's a Bela Lugosi biographer. So for the past 2.5 years, he's been our film critic.
Oh.
Wow.
So he's got 2 books out, but this is on Bela, and I'm a big Bela Lugosi fan, which is actually how
I'm
we
a
met.
huge Bela Lugosi fan.
This guy's the expert.
Wow.
He went to Europe, and he went to the libraries, and he did the research on Bela. There were movies Bela made that are gone. They're disappeared.
Wow.
But this is Vampire Over London, Bela Lugosi's years in Britain.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So now we had the other Lugosi author, Arthur Lenig, and we're going to have Bela's son on at some point. You know, Bela Lugosi Jr. is a lawyer,
Is that right? I didn't know.
and he and his daughter do all the merchandising for Lugosi.
Wow,
Let me tell you
that's
something. I have
great.
something interesting. Martin Landau won the Oscar for playing Bela Lugosi.
Right.
And he was actually one of my coaches at the Actors Studio.
Martin Landau was your coach?
Wow, it's fantastic.
Yes, so wasn't Shelley Winters.
Oh, I love Shelley.
Shelley
Yeah,
Winters was
Is
God
she
great.
still with
bless
us?
her. I
No,
don't
she
think
passed
so. And this was before she got sober. And I can say this: she used to show up in her house coat with a little nip, but she still was right on the money.
Yeah.
I have to give her that much.
Oh, she was amazing.
She was an amazing, 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 amazing performer.
Yeah.
She was like one of the very first actresses that transformed herself into going from, ingenue, when at the time, once you got past the ingenue phase, you were gone.
Right.
And she was one of the first, if not the first, to go from ingenue up until character
Yeah,
actor.
right.
And
She
she was
was-
just brilliant. Her critiques were right on the money. And she used to nail me to, even for the littlest thing. She's like, it was a brilliant butt.
Yeah,
And you
right.
knew when the butt came,
Yeah,
it
right.
was, she
She
was
was
going
fit.
on for a good
She was great.
few.
She made a lot of big movies.
Oh, God, yes.
The Poseidon
Yes.
Adventure, right? That was a big one.
I saw Martin Landau on Ed TV last night.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Now, Shelley Winters is a great, bigger-than-life actress, but Nancy Parsons didn't get a lot of credit. She was in Sudden Impact the other night with Clint Eastwood. She's gone, the great
Yeah.
Nancy Parsons. But she was in Sudden Impact as the mother of the one of the villains, and she pulls a gun on Clint Eastwood, a big rifle. It's awesome. But she's Beulah. Beulah. Oh, it was the first role for Sex and the City lady. Not her first role, but one of her first. Who's the Sex and the City lady? The big name. She was in Mannequin, and she was in Porky's. So Beulah, and she goes, Beulah, Beulah, Beulah. Ball Bricker is Nancy Parsons, and the woman from Sex and the City. Oh, how can I forget her name? It's Bluesheimer.
Sarah.
Not
Jessica
Sarah,
Parker.
the other one.
I thought it was Sarah Jessica Parker. And the other one is
She was from Porky's.
the
can't
blonde,
think.
the blonde,
The
woman.
blonde from Porky's and then from Mannequin.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Um,
she was good.
Yeah, she plays the sex addict
Yeah.
pretty much in the show.
Yeah,
and Miss Beulah Ballbricker
She
was
has some issues.
her teacher, and the Porky series was so much fun.
Yeah, the Porky, well, I don't know, that wasn't my scene, but guys loved Porkies.
It was funny. I mean,
it's been a while. It's been a long time ago.
But anything else? Because we're going to call Frank Dell'Estrito. Is there anything else pertinent that we want to cover?
I think we covered most of my stuff. Your stuff. We covered
Well, we want you back anytime you like.
yeah. I
Please
think that's
do.
what we'll do. Do some maybe I'll. I don't live far, so I can make some food and take it right over, and then we can talk about it.
The Lisa and Joe
you
show,
don't have,
you know?
You don't have a
Yeah.
stove in here, do you?
No, but
But we could get an electric plate.
I'm
with
sure
that.
now that you
Yeah,
know
can do
Sean
that.
O'Brien,
I
you
don't
can
live
have
far.
some
I can
fun.
make it and then come over, and then we can put it on. We can display it, and then
And you
we
could show the
I can.
ingredients or something.
Yeah, I'll make
like
plates. And I'll show the ingredients. I'll have my cookbook too. I'll have the
Frank
recipe.
Dell'Estrito talking about movies.
Hey,
that.
Frank, a little champagne's in order.
We'll keep in touch. We'll do something.
We got your Vampire of a London book on the.
I gave you 2 cards. And she,
Yes, no,
she-
definitely.
We got Frank Dell'Estrito on the air. We got your Vampire over London book in front of us.
All right.
So-
Who's us?
Lisa Kavanaugh, my co-host, and Frank Imbergamo. They're both SAG actors.
All right.
Our
Nice
actress.
to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Well, you met him last week.
That's right, I'm a huge fan of Bela Lugosi.
All right. Well,
And you know who her actor, her coach, her acting
One of my
coach.
coaches at the Actors Studio.
She had Shelley Winters,
I'm Martin Landau.
and Martin Landau.
Martin Landau. So was it, I guess this would have been after Landau played Lugosi in the 1990s.
It was
I guess.
before and during,
Oh, during. Okay. Did he?
and after.
Oh, did he say anything of note?
Of note of Bela Lugosi,
Yes.
that I can remember off the top of my head, honestly, no. He was
Well, I remember-
all about our work.
I
was a
remember he
very
was
selfish,
interviewed.
selfless man.
I remember he was interviewed, and incidentally, long before he played Bela Lugosi, he was always one of my favorite actors. It broke my heart when he left Mission Impossible because I thought he was perfect for that show. But I enjoyed his TV movies. He was kind of blackballed a bit because he didn't like the way Mission Impossible was going, and the producers didn't like him not liking it, so they gave him a rough time. But I always remember him on television. And one of my favorite episodes of Twilight Zone is him in the Jeopardy room, which is a real cat and mouse game between a spy and a counter spy.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, he's a great actor. I envy you for knowing him.
Oh.
Anyway, when he was playing Lugosi, I always remember him saying in an interview, he goes, I did not until I watched all his movies did I know how good he was. He gave credence to this crap. So a nice thing to say about a guy who was cursed to appear in a lot of bad movies.
Yes.
That's great.
And Frank, should I have seen you in anything?
Yeah, I've been in several movies recently, and all the way down from with The Fighter, The Town. I just did a movie with Denzel called The Equalizer.
The
And
Equalizer TV show is now a movie.
We just filmed in Boston, The American Hustle, with Bradley Cooper.
I love your accent, and I'm not surprised that when I hear that accent, I'm not surprised to hear you were in The Town. That Town, I thought was a great movie. I love that.
Yeah, that was a great part. That was great. And I've been on TV with Emerald on a cooking contest. I won. I was on the Food Network with Emerald. I wrote a cookbook, and I do the movies. I do a lot of different stuff, commercials and TV, things like that.
All right. Well, I wish you well in your career. What part did you play in the Town?
In The Town, I played a cop. Police officer,
okay.
yeah.
Well, there were plenty of them in that movie.
And I played a prison guard in The Fighter.
And R.I.P.D. he's in.
And R.I.P.D. I just did that with Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds. I played a 1970s police officer.
Right. Well,
We had different
I'm honored to talk to you both.
Yeah, so you can check that out. And I congratulate you on your book. It's excellent.
Yeah, I'm glad
gonna
you like it.
I'm going to get a copy tomorrow.
Myself,
The thing
too.
about that book is that it's if you took a famous person and realized that every biography that has ever been written about them overlooked 1 year, and you didn't know why, and so we filled in the gap with that. So the neat thing about that book is about 90% of it was new information when it came out.
That's
Wow,
great.
People that had never spoken about Lugosi that knew him well,
Fantastic. Wow.
and things that he had done that were just forgotten by time, and we stumbled on it, and it started off as a magazine article, but we kept finding so much that it became a book.
You know what? This October for Halloween, maybe we'll have Frank come back. We'll all interview you on the book for Halloween.
All
Oh,
right,
that would
but then
be-
you have to
oh,
read
that
it.
would be
That's a
great.
good idea, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll dress up as different characters from his movies.
Well, I can wear the cape. But
That'd be great.
we've got 3 minutes for champagne.
Okay, Champagne. It's a late silent movie, 1928. Silents Are Dying, and this is one of Hitchcock's last silent movies. It's one of his, or maybe his first comedy. It's kind of a pre-Depression era depression comedy. I mean by that, depression hasn't hit yet. Depression starts with the Wall Street crash of 1929. But this is about a rich girl who loses all her money and has to try to make it in the working world. Again, I said it was Hitchcock's first comedy. He's already got a reputation building for more serious dramas, and he's just getting into the mysteries with things like the Lodger, which you showed a while back, and Blackmail, which is almost his next film after this, which you showed last week. And so it doesn't do too well. I mean, the fans that he has, his name is already getting known in Britain. The fans that he has weren't expecting this. So one thing you don't want to do is catch your fans a little too off guard. There is no Hitchcock cameo in this. I know your listeners love to know where to look for Hitchcock, so you can just sit back and relax. You saw him last week. If you watched Blackmail, you'll see him next week, because next week's movie is 39 Steps, but he's not in this movie. And when I say this is a late silent movie, all you have to do is look at the cast, because these are busy actors in the silent world, and pretty soon they'll be out of business. The leading lady, the biggest part in the film, the leading lady is Betty Balfour, who was known as the English Mary Pickford. She was considered quite a comedian. She is arguably the best-known British actress in British movies, best known outside of Britain.
Wow.
Quite the star, and she doesn't realize it, but when sound comes in about a year or two, her film output is going to slow to a trickle, and she'll be out of the business within a decade. And a little almost tragedy, she'll try a comeback in 1952. It'll go disastrously for her, and she will attempt suicide. The two leading men in the movie, a Frenchman, Jean Bradin, and a Russian, Ferdinand Van Olten. People weren't stopped by language barriers actors in those days because the movie was silent. And when I didn't know these two actors, and I looked up their careers, and all through the 1920s, they're bouncing back between movies that have titles that are obviously English, obviously French, and obviously German. They went between those three countries pretty much as the work came up and did it. And
10 seconds.
Okay, well, anyway, they didn't come to sad ends, but they were soon out of the business too. And anyway, that's all I can do in a few seconds. I'll talk to you next week about the 39 steps.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Frank.
Frank.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
2 Franks and a Lisa and a Joe. That's our show. Views and opinions are ours, not yours. But tune in next week. It's 39 steps and lots of fun.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Take care.